quicker, 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 quicker. Gotta go quicker. We gotta go quicker. Yet every time we seem to go quicker in the context of the game or even in practice where we're yelling quicker, 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 we tend to make more mistakes. Why is that? What is the context behind quick? As I love to get out on the field, watch games, see what's going on the weekend, whether that's from my position as the director of the club and just getting a general feel for our experience on the field from our games, from our teams, from our coaches, or in the elements of working at ODP level and watching coaches working through their sessions with their groups, we always end up with this idea of speed of play and kind of playing quicker. Most of the time you'll hear a coach yell for players to play quicker, or they talk about, hey, we need to play fast here, or it just has to be quicker, it's too slow. These are all sayings that are connected to speed of play, but they all, of course, are tied to increasing speed of play. However, in almost every youth game, and even when I played UPSL with this last year, all the players do is just make the game go faster. They get it and go, even at higher levels. It's get it and go. Yet that comes from this idea of speed of play, but it also comes from a lack of understanding from our players, a lack of confidence to control the game, a lack of uncertainty or a complete state of uncertainty for our players where they're just not quite sure what to do, so they get it and go to the goal. That's where speed of play, the idea of going quicker, is often confused with exactly that. Just get the ball and go to goal. Yet speed of play can also be used for slowing the game down. Think about player movement. We can't always just go faster. There are times where we will slow it down, and that allows us to be a little bit more purposeful and a little bit more patient with the ball. Let's use Pep Guardiola as the example. The ball will go back to one of his centre-backs, maybe even the goalkeeper, and he stands on the ball. He puts his foot on it and kills it. And almost every youth coach, if their player did that, would probably lose their mind to some degree, maybe because the pressure's higher in the lower levels of the game, and the younger game, it's easier to go and press. But in this context, he steps on the ball and stops it. In those moments following that ball being stopped, players ahead of that player, and you may not see this on TV, but you definitely see it if you watch from a tactical camera or even live at the game, you would see the players ahead of that player move. They would be finding shape, they would be finding an opportunity to dismark or to interchange their positions. That moment of stopping the ball allows the players ahead of them to reorganize. That could be, for example, imagine a corner where your team lost the ball and were counted on, but your goalkeeper gets the ball from the breakaway. When he holds the ball for just a second, that allows players to recover into their positions. Same could also be used if I were to pass you the ball and get it right back. In the 3 seconds it takes me to play you a 10-yard pass and for you to bounce it right back, that same movement that I talked about with dismarking or interchanging is happening. That quick movement not only occupies the opponent, but it allows my teammates to get an opportunity to find a little bit more space. So then for context, I don't know that your young players could do that. I've coached ECNL at under 14s, and there were few moments where they would feel confident enough in those games to do that. There were moments, and it was really nice, but it took a little bit of coaching from me on the sideline. But for context, we have to teach our players what speed of play is. This is a key quality for the players. If you look at US Soccer's guide, the key quality is reading the game and making decisions. We cannot always go quick to the goal. There are times, transition moments, poor square passes that we were able to jump on. I use from my common language the word break. We're going to break from here. We have space in front of us. The opponent is out of position. That is our cue to break. We work on that in practice. One of my favorite ways of introducing quick play for the players is through set pieces. Set pieces are a really good way, especially with young or inexperienced players, to teach them some of these key moments. If the opponent is walking away, if they were not ready because they're arguing with the referee at whatever age group, or the coach is yelling, my team knows that that's a really good opportunity to tap and play, and the player gets it and they can dribble, they can pass, whatever it else is. Corners can be quick. Free kicks can be quick. I call those cheeky moments where we tap and play and the opponent isn't ready. This is our advantage. So our players learn to read the game in those moments and then start to play quickly based on what they are seeing. I am not standing on the sideline saying, quick, 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 or go, 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 or take an opportunity. They're not ready, they're not ready. I don't shout any of those things because, number one, it gives away our opportunity. But also, I need the players to learn to read the game. One or two players may have a really good understanding, and therefore I allow them to be the ones that will take free kicks and corners and kind of dictate how we are going to play. So in a game, if your center midfielder gets the ball, and they always go quickly forward, they just get it and go, or the ball comes back to the centre back and they just kick it long, well then, yeah, absolutely. If I'm the other team or the other team are smart enough, they just start moving backwards, anticipating that ball is going to come long over the top or long direct, and they're going to start to win the ball just a little bit easier. Yet, if we can control what that looks like, and maybe they can do that 2 or 3 times, but then they have to do something different. And this is what we start to bring in through our practices. So when we look at quick, younger players, inexperienced players mistake this and they rush. What do I mean by that? It's poor technical execution. Another key quality for our players. Are they technically proficient? Of course, it's relative to their age. But if a player is panicking and rushing, their head is down, they are starting to kick the ball away. Maybe the ball spins out of play because they tried to play that longer pass. But again, if we're yelling quick or break or whatever our key word is and they weren't ready for it, then it's going to lead to something poor. Remembering that rushing only makes it worse. I can still play quick with a quick touch and an understanding that I'm going to play that further forward. So how do I develop that? The quick, immediate thought that I would use is, and this could be true for a lot of different age players and a lot of different levels, you play a 4v4, 4-goal game, which means, and to clarify, that is each team has 2 goals to attack, generally wide in the playing area. We use games like that because we're teaching our players patience, we're teaching them to read the game, because if everybody shifts to the left side of the field to defend that goal, then the open space is, on the right side. So our players learn to turn and play a pass. Now, we are introducing quick play there. They are going to read the game and recognize 3 of the 4 defenders have moved to that goal in front of them. So a quick turn and a quick pass, not rushed, a quick turn and a quick pass onto the other side of the field is going to create an opportunity for our team to score. Now I'll always add in that if you can do that, and our focus in this instance is playing quickly. So if you can do that in 5 seconds or 10 seconds, that is going to be worth 2 goals. It's going to be worth 2 goals because it is a really nice reward for you scoring. It's not the only way to score, like in a game, but if you score attempting to do what we're working on, that's really worth just an extra bonus goal. Now you can add in the same thing if you're working on transition. Transition is one of those key moments to play quickly. Therefore, if we score within a certain amount of time of winning the ball, that is going to be worth 2 goals, or that is going to be worth something else for us later on in the day. If you do kind of like a sport education type environment where you keep scores like this, and then you have winning teams and winning players and you celebrate those players, that's a really cool incentive for them to be on a winning team that is scoring very quick goals that are worth 2 or 3 bonus goals. Now imagine if your players did that in a game. They shifted over to the left side of the field, they crowded out the opponent, overloaded them, won the ball, quickly turned and played the ball out to the right side for your winger to go and attack. That sounds like a dream for our younger players. And that is exactly what they would do in a game like a 4v4 to 4 goals that would translate to the game on the weekend. We would be using keywords that they could relate from practice into the game. The scenario is the same. They don't get 2 goals in the game. But if you use the game plan and you set goals for that game and you communicate that with the families of your players, then you're able to say at the end of the game, in practice, that would have been 12 goals because we did it 6 times. We got the ball across the field and we got a shot on goal. So we gave ourselves a bonus goal, things like that, whatever your kind of wording and your scoring is. But You are saying to the families, this is our intention from practice. This is what we've been working on. Players understand it. This is what we tried in the game. We connect all of those dots so that the score, the actual score of the game, is irrelevant for our players who are developing, for our players who are learning to read the game, for our players who are learning to play quickly or to use keywords like break. And if you use those key qualities and you use those principles of play and share them with your families, you are going to have a very, very successful season.